when did you finally get struck by the urge that, oh, I need to write a book?
Mm, I think so. For the longest time, when I was growing up, I loved writing and I loved reading. And I still, and I continued to read, but I stopped writing because I want to say like early elementary, I'm not quite sure. But I went to school and I was really proud of this research paper I wrote, or I don't know, something I wrote. I was very proud of it. And I was waiting. So when the teacher passed out all the grades to everyone, I was waiting for mine because I wanted to hear what this teacher who I respected so much, what she had to say about my writing. And then in red, it said, I need to talk to your parents, like bring your parents in. I was like, oh, I wonder why. And then so I brought my parents in. And, again, like we had just immigrated when I was 3. So my dad at that time, he was going to law school. So his English was, pretty good, but I was home mostly with my mom and her English is conversational, but, anyhow, they came to the conference and the teacher was like, I can't grade this. I need her to rewrite it. And my parents were like, why? And she said that I plagiarized, that I had like copied this off of something, off of a book. And my parents were like, no, she didn't. And when they asked me at home, I was like, of course I didn't. And they were like, well, if she didn't plagiarize, then, we don't allow parents to help children with their homework, to write their homework for them. And, my parents were like, we didn't help her. Like she wrote this herself. She's actually really proud of, that she thinks she's a good writer. And then and so the teacher didn't believe me and she thought I had copied. And like, I think she like grudgingly, listened to them. And then she just kind of gave me a grade after that. But that just kind of stuck with me. And I stopped writing after that. Like, even though I loved it so much, I didn't feel like I was that good to write. Yeah, I just didn't feel like I was that good. So I stopped writing and I limited myself to just writing in my journal. And yeah, I always wanted to be a writer, but when hearing that, it just made me stop. And it's unfortunate because, I kind of feel like what teachers say matter. It impacts kids so much. They're so influential, especially if it's somebody that you respected. And yeah, I guess an advice I would give myself and other kids is, don't listen to critics. If you love something, just keep doing it because, everyone's going to have all these opinions and it doesn't matter. Not everyone's going to like your work, but anyhow, so I stopped writing actually. And I didn't start again until I want to say I had my daughter, my first daughter, who's 6 now, and I was pregnant with my second. But before I became pregnant with my second, we kind of, were trying, and I had a little bit of trouble and like several miscarriages, but it came from that place in my life where writing became an escape and sort of healing. And from there, that's how I got back into writing. And I looked at my daughter who was maybe 3, and she loved Elsa. We loved going to Disney store. It was like, it was her Disneyland. And one day she told me, like, Mommy, why is Elsa's hair yellow? Why is mine black? And then she was just so sad. And she was like, well, when I grow up, will my hair turn yellow? Will it turn blonde? I was like, No, our hair is black, and this is just what we look like, and everyone looks different, and it's all beautiful and special. And she was so upset, and she cried. And I think at that moment, like, I'm healing myself, and I hear my daughter saying these things, and it just made me want to like do my part to create something better for her, so that when she grows up, she can see people that look like her in books, and she won't feel like, hey, I look different, like, she'll love herself for who she is and what she looks like. And I noticed, as she's growing up, there's more and more even animation with Asian characters, like Over the Moon or Raya. And she was just, her face lights up, and she's like, look, they look like me, they're like me. And so me starting to write again and writing these types of books, it started from healing and then wanting something better for my daughter.
I hope that teacher says, "Oh, Jenna Yoon, I think I had her in class. Oh, look, she wrote a book, and oh, she's on a podcast, and they're going to hear that story. They say, oh, I need to go away and do a little bit of self-reflection. I think I might be the bad guy, and that will be the start of hopefully an amount of tremendous growth for this person who would do that to a child. Because you were how old when she went straight to your parents?
It was probably like 8 or 9. I was pretty young at that time. I think that's why, like, if I was older, I might have been able to brush it off and been like, whatever, it doesn't matter. But I was so young at that time. So, like, what adults say really matters, and especially what a teacher says. So,
well, obviously, the story has a happy ending. Here you are with your debut novel. You have become a writer, but that does retroactively fill me with rage for 9-year-old you that she has that experience. I'm sorry to hear that happen.
Thank you.
But like I say, happy ending. Here you are. You've got your book. So your daughter says this to you from the Disney store, and this sets you on a mission. And I know in the afterword for Leah Park, you say that Leah Park is the hero that you hungered for when you were younger, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when you're going to create this character, what responsibility do you feel? What is it that you want for Leah Park as you're sending her out into the world?
So yeah, growing up, I didn't see characters like myself in books. I mean, in the 80s and 90s, there was nothing, almost nothing. And so I wanted kids reading the book to see a character that looks like that. And also, I wanted all kids to just have a fun and engaging and interesting journey while reading the book. And, just to show that differences, like, once you get to know different cultures, you realize it's not that different. It's like we all have the same, like, themes running in our lives and the same characteristics. It's just maybe packaged a little differently. But yeah, so I wanted everyone to sort of enjoy the differences and to celebrate it.